All right, so this is what's going to be instead of your blogs, your weekly blogs. And what I'm doing on this is an attendance assignment, right? Just like everything else that you've done, but this is a this week in history challenge. Now, each week is going to be something a little different, and the goal is to just challenge you a little bit, just bring up some thoughts of what we're talking about and that kind of stuff. So, we've been talking about throughout this week, this first week, is a lot of dealing with why do we study history? What is the purpose and all that kind of stuff. So for this week, your week in history challenge is going to be kind of like what we did last year with the topic of birthday, significant events, that kind of thing. But it's history often has a matter of perspective and timing. So there's a really neat link that talks about, and we talked about this before, how a wrong turn started World War One. If he wouldn't have made that turn, now would World War One have started? Probably, but the bottom line is the guy makes a wrong turn and it's wrong place, right time, and Ferdinand was assassinated, right? So what if this event didn't happen, or that person wasn't born, or that record wasn't set, or that song wasn't even written? What if Beyonce had never been born? Really, I mean, think about it. She changed the face of a lot of the ways that people sing and the business aspect of the music industry. And yet if she had never been born, or she had not been made famous, or even if nobody had discovered her, that fateful day that she was discovered and made a star, right? So this is the challenge in history and what I want you to consider. So your task for this particular week is to use the resources below or research online to consider something that happened in history, and then consider the ramifications or implications on history if that event had never happened. All right. So students, you may feel that this event did not play a significant role in history and therefore was insignificant, and that's fine. But you might discover that the event created a progression of other events or responses, and therefore dramatically shaped history. For example, if President Lincoln or President Kennedy had not been assassinated, would American history be drastically different today? And I think so. All right. In the text box, you're going to write which event you've chosen along with the date and a brief overview of the event, and state whether or not world history. Now, this is world history. You can focus on America, but world history in the big picture would be significantly impacted if this event never happened. You should also consider if your life would have been affected if this event had not happened, and even in the discussion would have what if type of question. So, for example, on September 14th, 1901, President McKinley died of an assassination attempt. For 8 days, he was in and out, and finally, after 8 days, he died. President Roosevelt is sworn in as a result of the killing of McKinley, and under the leadership of Roosevelt, the FBI took shape. Now, it wasn't until 1908, so 7 years later, but it was officially designated as a regular force of special agents available to investigate certain cases of the Department of Justice. All right. So if he had not been assassinated, the FBI could quite possibly not have been started. And of course, recent political events have put the FBI in a spotlight as being maybe used for political purposes, and whatever side of the equation, the political side you're on, that was not necessarily its original intent. So what would or could have happened if the FBI was never created? Would our country be a more or less safer place? So that is kind of the idea that I want you to delve into, all right? So this is use the resources that I've listed below and go from there, all right? So hopefully you enjoy this one. Again, every week there's going to be a new week in history challenge, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, enjoy seeing them.